We talk about living this life on your terms, fulfilling your business dreams, moving abroad, founding your own companies, and the daily struggle this brings with it. But also why it's all worth it, and why this life is going to be your dream life. Welcome to Maria Unleashed. Enjoy the episode. Hi, Maria here. Welcome back to the channel. So this one is going to be a good one. We're going to talk about money and how to price your service and products. So that's a very important one to think about. And honestly, I've done it all wrong in the beginning. I was literally just, trial and erroring and seeing, just finding my way and what's working and what's not, because I'm not a big believer of just, obviously I talked a lot to other people, but then every business is different, whether you have a service or product, a complete different story. And then, people do like usually what is trending. And I'm not a big fan of trends. I'm not a fan of that at all, actually. And I don't like labels, and I do not like people telling me what to do and how to do it, if they don't know anything about me or my business. So, I, in the beginning when I did the prep, obviously you talk a lot about that, and you just really try to find a good, number basically. So pricing your service is really not easy. And then with the product, it's a complete new level. And I'm going to make that at least a two-parter, because there's so much to cover. But I just had a very interesting conversation and I felt like, okay, now let's talk about that. Everyone who starts a company or, is self-employed really, you will be faced with that question. How much do I charge for my services? And it's a big one. So it depends on so many different things, but just let me tell you. And with my other friends and, founders, we all said it, we've all done it, we all undercharged in the beginning. And that's pretty shitty. So here's what happens. So I have founded a few companies now, but two different types. So my very first one, I was very young, and I founded my first company in London when I was 22 years old. Before that, I was self-employed in Germany. And starting out in the film industry. I'm gonna record a podcast episode about that as well. Very interesting. So, I'm going to link it below. And if it's not there, I don't have it yet, but it's coming. So, basically, being self-employed and then starting a company, also two different things. And then, one country compared to a different, in, another country, all different stories. But basically what I did, I worked in the film industry, and then you just write invoices. And so pretty much you just bring yourself, on set. So I have to be there. I have my kit with me and so like my work toolkit, and that's it, right? So I don't have to purchase anything else, or anything like that. So that's what I really love about service. It's just like you are there and let's go. Just a quick update. I just launched 2 new online workshops, my Holistic Skincare Masterclass and my Expert Class. I will share my profound knowledge, my ready-to-buy shopping list, my suppliers list, and so much more with you. If you are ready for the last skincare moisturizer you will ever need, tailored to you and to your ever-changing needs, this online workshop will liberate you from the cycle of the beauty industry. Head over to greenplanetcosmetics.com/workshops. I will link everything below, and if this resonates with you, you can find all the details on my website. And now, back to the episode. And figuring out the price, just at all, because people don't talk about it. And that's a problem. So you are there in a new city, and London is very expensive as well. And London was the hub for every creative. So it's a finance hub, or used to be, and it's a creative hub. So everyone from Europe was in London. Everyone who wanted to be someone in the fashion industry or in the film industry, that was a place to be. And so what happens is obviously, it's so hard to get in. So you start working your way up, which I do like, to be honest, especially in the beginning. That's what I really love about the film industry. It's like it tests you. And I like that, because also you can be sure that that is for you. If you are just in to make big bucks, it's probably not for you. Stay away, because it's going to kill you. But if you are in it because you love it, because you would actually do it for free, as a hobby, like, please let me come. Oh my gosh, it's so for you, and you deserve like every amount you charge for, because, the work we did, it's just insane, but it's so much fun as well. So, but the problem is, because I obviously loved it. Yes. So for me, I was so happy to just be there and learn from the best. Oh my gosh, it was amazing. So I pretty much knew that from Germany. That's where I started as an intern as well. I stayed 2 years in Germany before I moved permanently over to London. So I knew, okay, in Germany, I also step by step, baby steps up the ladder. And at some point, after one project, if you are doing good, you get recommended, and then someone else calls you. And with every little baby step, I also can charge a little bit more money. So in the beginning, again, it was like literally, okay, I have no idea who you are. You can come, but I'm not going to pay you. I first want to see what you can actually offer. And again, if you are doing a good job, you get recommended. They will, ask you to do a new project with them. So let's say from the intern, as an intern, you don't get any money at all, to then 400 euro a month, I believe, to then, I don't know, at some point you get 800, 1,000 a week. So, it's definitely worth it. But in the beginning, so that's what I'm saying, in the beginning, it was no money to very little money. But again, with every new project, I also ask for more money. And I also, obviously, because I have new skills as well. So, and then at some point, I decided to go to London. And again, I didn't know anyone. I'm going to also make an episode about that, what it's like and how I started with literally the language and, the contact, building a network and what I did and how I did it and how long it took. And I will link everything again below once I have it. And there, no one knew me. No one knew who the fuck I was. Just another random girl from Europe, trying to become someone in the film industry. And it's not that they wait for you. No. And they're not going to knock on your door. Oh, hello, welcome. Here you go. Perfect job for you. No. It's literally everyone wants your job and you are one of a million. So, back to the drawing board, so to speak. But I knew that before, and I knew it's worth it. So, I did not complain. I did it exactly what I did in Germany. I phoned up some people. I had my favorite costume designers I wanted to work with. And I literally just dropped them emails, called them or their agent and said, listen, how about you book me for 3 days? You don't have to pay me, just, if you like me. So that kind of, I take the liability away from them. So it's no risk on their side. And what I also always did is on set, because at some point they're like, yeah, we can always use some help. And again, for them, it's like, okay, whatever. If it sucks, we send her home and we didn't lose any money. But I knew that they wanted to keep me. So I knew that. That's how it started. And I went there and then, it just worked and they just see how it goes, if you're a good match or not. And what I also always did when I was not paid on set, write down everything, every contact, ask for help, tell them your story. And that's what I said, I would love to, really build a network here. Can you recommend anyone? Do you know who needs more help? Do you have any numbers? And then if it comes from a contact they know, you can drop their name, and that helps and opens doors a lot. So even, that I wasn't paid, but I still gained so much from these experiences, these contacts, the advice, even legal advice, and then also hey, should I do, continue to be self-employed, be on the payroll, or should I open a company and all that stuff? That is literally what I figured out on these unpaid film jobs, where I was running around saying hello to everyone, just being, just there. And yeah, again, if you ask, people will help you. And they were very happy to help me. And literally these advice, it was life and business advice. It was priceless. It was really, really priceless. And it saved me so much money and hardship in the future, just knowing that now, So it is definitely important to think about that aspect as well. You can't always start and already, wanting to receive a large amount of money. For what? You have no experience, what do you know? Who are you? So that I don't really mind, just starting is starting. And, maybe you are lucky. and maybe the second or third project is already a big one, and you get paid very well. That's amazing. But it was not my case. Also, because I always traveled around, and I really, in my 20s, I promised that to myself. I just wanted to learn. Like, I don't listen to other people, what you are supposed to do in your 20s, and this and that, and kids and house and blah. I don't care. Like, the 20s are for me. And I also said to my parents, like, listen, I don't want to hear like retirement anything. I now want to find out who I am, what I want to do, and I want to learn as much as possible. And yes, you're gonna fail. It's part of the process, it's part of the game, and that is where you learn the most. So just upfront, it's not your success, the gold medal you get. That's like your reward for putting in the hard work. But this medal doesn't give you anything. It doesn't make you stronger, more resilient, gives you a better network, nothing. So, you learn from your failures. And it's also the quality, the way you give, you get back up. That you get back up. So many people don't get back up. I mean, damn. But I am, you cannot stop me from getting up. And that's another one, like the discipline, but also the, just to continuously put in the good work, because at some point, everyone else around you gives up. And that's also one part in London that really saved me great jobs, because everyone else was giving up at some point. And I just showed up again and again and again and again, until I was probably the last one. And they were like, okay, we need someone. Who's there? Maria. Okay, here you go. It's your contract. We need you now. Can you start now? You can. Oh my gosh. And then they love you. And then, I'm just saying. So, okay, now, so starting and offering your services for little money or no money at all, it depends on what industry you're in, but that was definitely in the creative, design, fashion industry. That's what it was like. I'm not sure what it's like now, but that is what happened, when you started out in the film industry. So, and then again, talk to other people. So that's what I learned in London, in South Africa as well, in the US. It's really important to talk about it. In Germany, it's literally, it's always this, man redet nicht über Geld. One doesn't talk about money. And that's the most stupidest sentence I've ever heard. It's ridiculous. And that is exactly why you are still poor. It is really like that. Only poor people don't talk about money. And that's why they will always stay poor. So you have to talk about money. And I, again, very early on with my colleagues, we also discussed that. I'm like, hey, what can I actually charge here? And, what... And then you learn to aim for a little more, because they will always try to press the price. It's like, that's a different game. But you have to ask, what are the numbers? Because it is not a 9-to-5 job. You can't just look that up. Oh, what's the average you go for that job role, or for this and that and that. Also, in the employed position, you have a very scheduled, very set frame. So you do your 8 hours, or I don't know, whatever you sign your contract for so many days, and you get in return X, Y, Z. This is the money, that's the holiday and what. So it's very set, and it's also way easier to calculate what you want to charge for. But then the film industry or other, it doesn't really matter. But for me, it was the film industry. So that's why that is my experience. That's what I'll talk about. But it even, if you are a doctor and you are, having your own clinic, whatnot, it's hard, because you put in the hours and you put in long hours. It's a long day on film sets. And yeah, you have to also consider it's a seasonal job. So, after the film job, you then have to start again, finding a new project. And again, in the beginning, you have to look for it at some other point, further down the line. Once you are established, people will approach you, and it's easier. And, you know that you will have another project soon. But when you are just starting out, after, it depends. Sometimes you usually start as a daily. So you just come in for a few days. People see, do they like you or not? Then they may, maybe not, give you a job for the entire project. And then, you go from there. So, but after 3 months, 4 months, I don't know how long the project goes, you are there, and again, have to start, acquiring new projects, new contacts, customers, clients, whatnot. So, and that is something I really also had to learn to like, hey, you cannot, you are not getting this continuous income. You really have to make sure to not just cover for your like an hourly salary, but also the value you put in, also the energy you put in. This is also a job you don't do forever. Like, it depends in what part you work in, but then the costume department, that was my department, it is hard, physically hard labor. What we were carrying around and like 50 kilo of stuff, it's like, and we were like, okay, can we do it together? Okay, let's go. And then, you go to locations that are far out and like up the stairs, down the stairs, back and forth and carrying everything. The equipment as well. So it's physically a draining job as well. So you also realize that, once you are I was never really sick because, again, I loved it so much. Even if I was sick, I probably just did it anyway because, again, I loved it. And you also have to, hey, what you sign up for, you just have to get it done and deliver the quality. And then after the film project, we usually always felt a little sick because then, the pressure goes. And it's like, okay, I can breathe now. But you have to calculate that in, that you cannot do that for the rest of your life. It's just what it is. And also, if you want to have a family, that's not going to be the job forever. And stuff like that, you have to calculate it in. And then again, you give so much. So what's the number going to be, And again, it helps to talk to not to customers, to your colleagues. So that really helps. And we also made a pact and a deal between us, like, hey, if they ask you and if they want to press the price, no, this is our rate, don't do it for less. Because if you do that, the next time they will start at that rate. They will never give you, the original amount of money because they know you're going to do it for cheaper anyway. And then the next one, especially in London, that was the case because so many people wanted this one job and they would literally say, oh, you know what, I just do it for the credits, I do it for free. So we were literally like, you had to go down in your rate, in your daily, whatever, let's say it was a daily rate, because everyone else was doing it for free, but you still had to do your, you needed credits. Like, you have to build up your portfolio, you have to show your clients what you can do and who you've worked with, etc. And so that became very tricky. And then living in London and, I'm self-made, so I didn't get any money from my family. Like, I knew I had to make it. And yes, it also included taking shitty jobs, like really shitty jobs. But again, I see the bright side. I've met on these shitty jobs that just paid the bills. I've met amazing people. And especially one person changed my life a few years later. Sometimes you do the shitty jobs, but it's just another round. It's another piece of the puzzle you collect. And it makes no sense quite yet. But again, a little bit further down the line, it suddenly like all comes together. And that's what you do as well. And in the end, it's really just where I realized, okay, that's bullshit because the rent was so ridiculously high. I spoke in another podcast about that, what it's like, it's like it took me on these shitty jobs 3 weeks to really make the money just for the rent for a room. Hey, we were sharing, 4 of us were sharing a very basic, very shitty shoebox apartment in London. And 3 weeks for the rent, and then I had another week where I really had to work to get the money in for food and transportation and stuff like that. And really, we all lived just very basic, just to get to where we wanted to be. Also a very good skill to have, hey, if you learn to live with a little, because it always, it can happen that at some point, the jobs are quieting down and suddenly you're like, especially just before Brexit that happened. And again, it can happen, be prepared. And also it helps when you learn to be happy with little material stuff and just really find your joy in other things, and just, still in my mind, I was always already rich and I was living in a beautiful house. It just took some time for reality to catch up. But that really kept me going. This little motivation, or sometimes I would just walk around a beautiful neighborhood and I'm like, oh yeah, one day, baby, I'm gonna have the key to one of these places. But it is important that you really understand that. And in the beginning, don't beat yourself up. Really, I have not met one founder, and it doesn't matter, a guy or woman, it doesn't really matter. Like everyone said, like, oh shit, we totally undercharged here. But again, we don't learn that in school, which is a shame, eh? It is, I mean, yeah, but I feel like they don't want us to know this, hey? They want to keep us small. But yeah, it's time we change that. So yeah, we must talk about it, and that's really my advice to you, and that's what I said to everyone, especially in Germany. Hey, like so many people nowadays, like they are waking up and it's like, hey, I'm going to apply for a new job role, and then suddenly they're faced with a very shitty question, and that is very, very shitty. If someone asks you, hey, what do you want to make? What is your annual salary? I don't know. How about you tell me the job description first, eh? I don't know. It depends how many hours, what the job is, how much, I bring to the table. And then we talk how much, that costs you. But so many people, so I'm used to that, again, like from 20 years old, discussing money, and I have to, like leverage my skills and put a price tag on it. And so I'm pretty used to it. And that's what I said, like you learn along the way, oh, okay, so you actually have to price a little higher. So if that is your price, price it a little higher, because then you give a little slack, and then it's like that. You also know with the budget, if you get a costume budget, you want to make sure to use it all, because, sometimes you're like, oh my God, we're under budget. How amazing is that? A little bit under budget and you are the star. Too much under budget and you will never get the original budget back, because they say, oh yeah, but you said, you did it this time, like that time in summer, like, yeah, because we were only wearing like a little airy dress and a bikini. Yes, we all stayed under budget, but in the winter season, well, clothes are layered, so I need a few more. So yeah, and stuff like that. That's something you learn along the way, and it's very different for every industry, So yeah, don't beat yourself up, but it's important that you learn from it, and also talk to other professionals. Talk about money. It's important. A really big thing to really keep in mind is, I mentioned that earlier, like considering the future, you are getting better and better, more efficient, faster. You just, as I said, you learn so many things along the way, just with the budgeting, you just become so good at it, and you can do it with your eyes closed. Now here comes the problem if you charge on a daily or hourly rate. So let's say you start, or you're not a beginner, but okay, first few jobs, that actually matter, and you charge a proper price. And then, let's say that's, I don't know, €100 an hour plus tax. So that is also, people forget to add the tax. They say it's 100, and then they don't realize that is then including the tax. So you want to say 100 plus tax. And I know if you think like, duh, yeah, no. I mean, last year I've started, it kind of happened that I started helping other people, because they came to me and it's like wanting to found an online shop, Amazon, Etsy, and they were also like, okay, but how do I, price? And then I said, hey, listen, I can help you with that. I can help you also to set up your own web shop and stuff. So, and that's where I really understood, like, damn, it's so many people who've never heard about this, and they try. Like, for me it was a journey, and I've been doing, on this journey for 15 years now, 15 years self-employed and my own company. And these other people are like in their 30s maybe, and they are wanting to, leave their 9 to 5, and suddenly they find themselves now and with not a clue what to do. And I thought, damn, crazy. For me it's easy, of course, because I've been like really inching my way, like inch by inch, and I know now what I'm talking about, because I've been there. I know it inside out, like all the ups and all the downs, and especially the downs. So I've totally noticed and realized, hey, you know what, like there's so much demand. Maybe I'm going to create also a platform for that, as in, offering services, not just for the lifestyle brand Green Planet I'm doing right now, but also to just really help out other, people who want to fulfill their dreams. So yeah, that is something I'm currently working on, and that is again, just came from a conversation from a one-on-one, and I'm like, okay, I know we have to really talk about it, and people are afraid to ask, people are ashamed because they know they should know, but then everyone is like, even like a 55-year-old woman, and you think, hey, okay, but she must know now, she must know her worth, and she knows, and no, like coming from a 9-to-5 job. And now, that was the only job she ever had. Yeah, for her, it's like, what? Like applications, sitting in front of someone and leveraging your skills and asking for money. That was like the hardest thing. And she didn't even know. And she totally underpriced. I mean, her skills. It was crazy. And I'm like, oh my God, you have so much to give. You bring so many like incredible things to the table, and especially the knowledge. And yeah, she didn't know where to start. She didn't know because she was afraid she would ask for too much. Oh, I don't, and she literally didn't want to sound like, because again, in Germany, it's like when when I told them the rates I'm asking for on the film sets, or other people ask for, they were like, oh my God, how can you ask for so much money? I mean, seriously, blah, 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 blah. So you don't listen to that, because these guys have no idea. And they also have no idea what it takes to get there, how much you work for free in the beginning and shit like that. So do not listen to that. But again, this is why people are afraid. They are afraid. And then they also really want to have the job, and they believe, oh, but then, they do the classic typical mistake. Oh yeah, I'm just going to say that, then I'm safe. And then I'm also not asking for too much. And then they even go, further down with the rate when people, during the interview, because they have just no idea how valuable they are for the company. And then people really abuse that, which is such a shame. I'm sorry, hey, but that's what they do. They want to save money where they can. And I mean, yeah, they abuse you, and your kindness. And the other problem, and you're not knowing, hey, that's a big one. The other problem is also, so when I hired team members, or very early on as well, I was joining these conversations and interviews. And it's interesting also to see, so you have this one side where a person is very, very skilled, and then the other, like very skilled, but then underpricing the service. And then you have the other side where a person is not skilled at all. It's like, what? And then asking for like more than a supervisor, or more than not more than the designer, but more than her position. And I'm like, wow, it's crazy. So the person who should ask for that money isn't asking because she doesn't know how good she is. And now this person is really not good, like really skills wise. It was like, excuse me, and asking for a ridiculous amount of money. So that's also not good. And that's also, again, you can ask for ridiculous amounts, but you have to back it up, hey? You have to back it up. You have to be excellent. And then you deserve every penny. And you must, you have to really ask for large sums of money. But again, make sure that you can back it up. Because otherwise, the industry is very small. People talk, so yeah. But yeah, sorry, I kind of lost it here. So back to the part where I wanted to tell you about thinking about the future ahead, as in you become better, you become faster, more efficient, and everyone benefits from it except you. Because let's say you ask for $100 an hour plus tax, and so I don't know, it really depends on your job, but I hope you can relate a little bit. And during this, I don't know, we have a prep day that's usually 10 hours. And in, this time you are supposed to do X, Y, Z and whatnot. And let's say 5 years, 10 years down the line, you became so good at it. It doesn't take you 10 hours to get it done. It only takes you 2 hours to get it done. So now, you are being so amazing and so good and so fast and incredible. And also your budget is insane. You're actually saving your company or the production money. And because of that, you are basically punishing yourself, because now you're not invoicing 10 hours. You can only invoice 2 hours. So you are losing big time. And, understanding this is so crucial it is so important, and especially if it's an industry where you cannot do it until you are 60, 70 or what, because it's physically hard and demanding. And understanding this is so crucial, and it is really, and for me it was so hard to ask for like so much money, because that is literally what, after a week you kind of have more money than most people in, with normal jobs in like 3 months or 6 months. And it's like, again, if you talk to if I would talk to my friends, family about that, it's like, how can you ask for so much money? I mean, that should not be. We only earn this much, and now you should earn that. It's literally, I should earn less. And I'm like, holy shit, how about you should earn more? Oh my God. Yeah, another one. Can I just, I'm just going to do it. You guys, I don't want to hear that crap. Some other person should make less money? How is that gonna help? How is that gonna help you? How is that gonna help anyone? You, first of all, you are not affected whether the person makes more or less money. It doesn't matter, because ultimately you are not making any money more. That is another person's business, literally. So how are you concerned how much money they make? Because it's not changing your life. If this person earns less money, it is not going to change your life. It's not that you get that extra their salary on top of your salary. So it doesn't change your life at all. Now, if any, it's going to make your life harder. Why? Because that person that just, earns less money as you wanted him or her to, doesn't have enough money now to go and spend their money in your shop. So they are like, oh, I would really love to. I'm sorry, but money is tight. Oh, sorry, but you really are doing a great job. So, you are like, oh, okay. And now the other one also earns less money, because it makes you uncomfortable that everyone else is earning more money, because that might mean, I didn't argue, I didn't leverage my skills correctly. Like, why did I say? But that is hard to look in the mirror and to admit, shit, why did I not ask for more money? Why am I not standing behind myself asking for a raise? Yeah, because people are scared, and because people never learn to do it. Except you are self-employed, because then you have to do it, and you have to learn how to do it, because otherwise you can close your doors in 3 months' time. So, do not say someone should make less money. If any, you should make more money. And if you believe that you don't earn that money, then I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I really hope you wake up and understand how much value you can bring to your table if you are doing a quality job, and if you are doing, your passion. You bring so much value to the table. And if any, everyone else should make more money. Because again, if they have money, they're gonna spend it. Let's say you have a cafe, they will come and they will spend their money there. So you profit from them having more money. So please don't give me the shit. People make too much money. No, they don't. You make too little money. And that is the issue. And that's what we are trying to solve here. So I really hope it kind of opens your view to it, and to make you, makes you understand what the actual problem is. And I know it's hard. Like, it took me also so long. I'm going to talk in the second part about the products, because this is just, talking about a service. And it's a complete different story when you have a product, because I can leverage my knowledge. Yes, everyone in that industry paid a lot of money for that knowledge, but also you pay it in your time, in all the hours you worked for free. And, and again, it's long hours. The languages you have to learn, because if you want to be very successful, you have to learn at least English. And then I've also realized so many people speak Spanish on sets as well. Like, imagine I speak that language too. Wow, that gives me access to a much bigger pool of people and contacts I can then ask. So it's all of that. Like, people want you to have all this, they expect you to have the knowledge. So they should definitely pay you for that. And that's what we learned, like my friends, I and my colleagues now, we've all had to go through it, because no one taught us how to do it. And now we can't ask for more, 10 years ago. Like, that's done now, we did it. But I really hope that we can maybe make a change now and encourage you again, to really understand what you bring to the table. But to also you have to be real. You have to be honest with yourself. Again, don't become ridiculously overpriced. And because that also, people at some point, if you can't back it up, your clients will, get that, and they will feel it, and they will feel completely fooled around by you, and that also that is, you don't want that word on the street, that you are overcharging either. So again, it's not easy, and it is a process. It took me very long to also understand COVID as a big factor, because I did not calculate that in, and it completely, wow, man, that broke my arms and legs. It really did. And it took a while to recover. And I definitely got the lesson now to, charge a price accordingly to my service. And also what helped me really was to understand, everything I do, my first priority is always a customer or my clients, when they book workshops with me. And I want them to go out there and really, get something from it. I don't, because I have also done workshops. I've also done, book classes and one-on-ones and sometimes I feel like people they kind of want you to spend some money. They give you some information, and then you have to come back and you give them, your money, and then they give you some information, and that is so annoying. It is so annoying. I hate that. So for me, it's different. I understand why they do it, of course, because they want you to come back. Yeah, of course. So my business is a different one. I want you to be independent. I don't want you to come back and ask for more. I mean, of course, if you want to step up the game, or if you have, another thing that suddenly occurs and I'm like, hey, Maria, I want to change that now too, because I've learned. I get that so often, so many people, they believe they cannot do it. And we start small, because I want you to have this feeling of success and to really get how easy it is to experience it. So I don't want to overwhelm anyone. I don't want to make the life more complicated. No, the opposite. I want to make it easier for you. So we start small. That's how I did it as well. Step by step by step, we really create this beautiful, healthy lifestyle around you. And I can help with my products. But again, also if someone else says, I would really love to learn how to do it, wonderful. I can totally pick you up there as well, and I teach you. And I teach you in a way I wanted people to teach me. And I expect you, or I don't expect you actually to come back and to have to take the same course again, because then, I didn't do a good job. I want you to know what you are doing after. I want you to feel more, more confident in what you are doing, and not to more question marks in your head after the class. No. And here the problem was not a problem, but it was for me a problem to ask for a correct or good price. A price that matches the value you are receiving, is literally because I don't want you to come back. I want you to help yourself. I can help you to help yourself. That is what I offer you. And of course, it has to reflect in the price, because otherwise, if I give you all the knowledge, I have accumulated over 15 years for it's not free, but, for cheap money, I mean, I'm going to go down at some point. It's great that everyone else now gets a fantastic treatment for almost free, but then I have to close my doors down. I have to close. And then who's going to give you that service? Who's going to be honest with you? Where do you get perfect or really awesome, healthy products from? You do not have to worry about. You're literally, I have customers like, you know what, Maria, you don't even have to explain it to me. If you say that's the one I should try, that's the one you send me over. Here's the money. Cool. That is the kind of trust, I built over the years. And that's the kind of trust I want my customers to have and to develop. That's exactly like, hey, why are you using this? Or you know what? Maria recommended it, so I'm going to definitely try it, because I want you to feel, to really have that trust that there are still brands out there that you can trust, and that I really put all the love and all my honest heart into it. And that's it, I'm honest. But again, I totally undercharged as well, because, I did not really think ahead. And even though I knew better, but I'm also like, oh man, damn, I was really hoping. And people also, that the other problem, unfortunately, you also have, the price equals the value, which is a shame. It is sad that people still believe products that cost a lot of money are awesome. Unfortunately, I'm going to give you an example right now. So there's this brand I know my colleagues from film sets like to use for like high class, actors and actresses especially. It's usually more the woman. And so they pay, I kid you not. There was one bottle of, I don't even know what it was, some sort of cream. Yeah, and some other was a serum. And together it cost 1,500 euro. Okay, that's a lot of money, right? Okay, give me that? Can I see it? So I read the ingredients. That's a good thing. That's what you're gonna learn with me. You learn your shit, babes. Literally, it is time that you know what you are putting onto your skin. So I read the ingredients list and I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Are you fucking kidding me right now? And I was literally like, oh dear God. I mean, they use ingredients that are also used in cleaning products for cleaning your house. And I'm like, and they charge for these two products 1,500 euro? Are you kidding me? Yeah, but people want it because they believe it costs so much money, it has to be good. No, unfortunately not. I wish it was that easy, unfortunately not. And that's what people also have to understand. And then I talk one of my best friends, she also like, Maria, you are to like raise the price, like double that shit and this and this and that. And I'm like, yeah, listen, but it's easy said for you because you're not in the situation, It's like it is really not easy in the situation when you are the one in it to, make that move. Because if you do overprice, people won't come back and then you lose your income. And then what do? Until you have built a new client base that is willing to pay so much more money, that takes time. And I said to her, like, listen, because she went on, like, when I told her that, she's like, yeah, you can price your products like that. And you know what? It would be like worth paying it. And like, I know what you're saying. Like, these guys, they pay for poisoning their skin. And with my products, I could totally ask for the price. And then they would get actual help. They would get like really amazing products for their money. So I knew what she was getting at. And it's very sweet, that for me it's also like, oh yeah, thanks for telling me again. I totally know this myself, but sometimes you just need to also hear it from other people, because at some point you are losing it. If you are in your business 24/7, it's sometimes hard to see. So I knew that, but I also said to her, listen, I know I could do it. I know it would actually be justified because I am actually supplying my customers with great value, but this price would be ridiculous. It really would be ridiculous. So, instead of a ridiculous price, I realized I also had to change the price, and I have to, again, that COVID taught me so much, to calculate certain situations in, and also the behavior of the customers and stuff, So yeah, but I realized I totally got the point when she said that, and that really helped me to understand that it was me who had to understand the value. Yes, so I'm not gonna charge 1,500 for a cream and a serum, but message received. And really, so, and then implementing it and standing behind that price also took some time, and for the classes especially. Because it's literally your freedom. Let's say you buy 3 of my classes where I teach you how to make a healthy moisturizer, cleansing product in the form of a soap, and sunblock. That's literally how I travel, and that's all I have, and I love it. And let's say I charge $500 for a class. So that's 1,500 right there. And imagine you learn that when you are 20 and you invest into that and you spend 1,500 euro for the rest of your life. So scaling that up just to realize what it is, you get this incredible, like, this is insane, And just the other day I had a customer coming to me and saying like, oh my God, I cannot believe I'm actually only using so few products. Like in the past, then she calculated the past 4 or 6 months. And she's like, I just saved 10,000 euro. I'm like, are you, what? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my God. And that makes you realize how much value you bring to the table. It is not... Yeah, man, I don't know. It's really hard to explain, but I hope these examples give you some idea of what I'm talking about. But yeah, it doesn't matter in what industry you are in. If you are a copywriter, if you are in advertising, if you have products are a bit more difficult to calculate and to scale. And it's important to really view it from that point of view. And this, like seeing it from that angle, to really say like, what, 1,500? Like what? I can, one workshop is 1,500. And that is where I realized that, oh my God, okay. Yeah, I totally get it. Yeah, thanks very much, So yeah, I really cannot wait to also design a few classes around this subject to really help out other upcoming companies, brand owners, really everything. It's very, very exciting. And yeah, it's just so interesting. And so do not blame yourself if you have undercharged your prices, or if you are still not sure what your price is. It really, we all go through it. Everyone struggled in the beginning, but that is because no one teaches us, no one explains it to us this way. This is experience, you guys, speaking. And again, my colleagues as well, same experience, like different industry, same experience. And and that's what we also said, like, why did no one teach us? Like 15 years in the process, and now we are kind of getting there, And that is also what, again, if you are wondering about a price, so that's definitely what I'm going to calculate in. 15 years of experience, I'm going to save you. Hell yeah. I mean, and then also one last one before we wrap it up. It has to be, I don't want to say it has to be expensive, but yeah, it has to be expensive. And that is also something I really had to learn. There's another year of just like, again, finding a way of, it has to be like, it has to almost kind of hurt a little bit. And that's for me. So like, I don't want them to hurt, because I hurt so much, when I saved up for my, the people I spent money on, the people who taught me, I really had to save and save and save to pay them. But maybe, and that is where I'm also like, oh yeah, maybe that is also why I really show up. I am committed. I listen to every single word they say, because I know I have this one shot with them. They actually gave me an appointment, and let's go. And that is also like, I want to somewhat, I don't want you to go through this, because I know it is painful, and I know it's, especially now when you have, your money goes to all the other ends, and then saving up is hard. But on the other hand, I also know, no, maybe, it has to hurt a little, so you can actually, you really know why you are in it, and you are committed. And that is also the quality of customers you want to attract. That's another good one. I'm going to totally note to myself. Quality customers, another big one. So yes, it is hard, you guys. It is hard, but it is also the best journey you can ever ask for. It's just an experience, man. An experience called life. I love it. I'm made for this. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, or if you want to work with me. Contact me. The best is to contact me directly via Green Planet Cosmetics. I have everything linked below, or hit me up on Instagram also for Green Planet Cosmetics. And then we will sort you out as well. So I really hope that gave you some idea. I'm gonna do another one for the product side, and to compare also a service versus a product, and how different the pricing is. And also I'm gonna do some for the platforms Amazon and Etsy, because that is also a complete other level. And you do have to calculate a few aspects into that, which you don't have to if it's your platform you are operating from. But all of that in the following episodes. Okay, you beautiful people, have a beautiful day. And yeah, what can I say? Find your passion, and then really understand the value you bring, to the table. You give to other people, the time, the money, the nerve you save other people. And then you think about the price again. All right. So much for now. I will see you on the other side. Bye, guys.